Hey, sorry I can't take your call right now, but if you leave a message, I will get back to you as soon as I can.
This swaying metallic dance, flowing like a river on asphalt, everyone moving on cue, timing flawless, glistening beasts of sleek perfection. I can't help wondering at the anomaly. When the pattern breaks, a defection from the mass of vehicles racing towards destinations, a beast rear-ended, metal torn open so wide it almost seems human, intestines and innards outwards, vulnerable. I can't quite comprehend it. The figure in black seemed far off. We were dancing like the world would fall down if we didn't, and even if it did, we'd still be dancing, prancing like the immortal idiots we'll never get to be. I saw where they found you. There's flowers strewn like the remnants of a storm, waterlogged cards and wilted petals, their spines so tired from pretending, they keel over where string ties them to the telegraph pole. I can't help but think things might be different. Overuse my skills of inference to know we should never have given you the bottle, should have eased off the throttle, should have phoned home for a lift, shouldn't have let the car drift. My mind sifts through glistening fragments from that night, fighting for some way to change the outcome, but Mum keeps reminding me I can't change it. Oh, how I long to change it. I keep believing, in some secretly permeating way, that I should have said something to you, in that stream of water cascading over the asphalt, moving free-form. Oh, I feel so forlorn whenever I think of you. I wish I'd told you I love you sooner, and I wish it wasn't over the damned phone, to your voicemail. All hail me, Monday's expert, expertly picking apart every inch of that night, expertly dissecting every motion, move, motive, muttering to myself, maybe, might have, missing you, feeling oh so blue. I knew. I know. In some secretly permeating way that I should have said something to you. Shouldn't have laughed in my bottle, should have eased off the throttle, should have phoned home for a lift, shouldn't have let the car drift. The black figure is behind me at every step. Your screams whistling through his lips, his hands dripping with the remnants of you. I'll stave him off as long as possible, because I lost you. And I can't stand the thought of sitting behind the wheel, this unsaid spiel going round in my head, of what I should have said, what I should have meant, what I never will consume. I miss you. And I can't help wondering at the anomaly. When the pattern breaks, a defection from the mass of vehicles racing towards destinations, a beer rear-ended, flesh torn open so wide it shouldn't seem human, intestines and innards outwards, vulnerable. And I am unable, despite this permeating array of thoughts, to say something to you. To not laugh in my bottle, not ease off the throttle, not phone home for a lift, and not let the car drift.
Hi, sorry I missed your call. Please leave your message after the tone and I'll be sure to get back to you soon.
All these pervs are just waiting for a taste of my curves and arse. They think they're real class, to not ask permission, that it is their sacred mission to take no prisoners and rule their business with an iron fist. So, with keys in between fingers like Wolverine's claws, I storm forward, heart racing, pacing myself for the games to begin. Who will win? The commentator howls in my brain. The fair ladies set up in sneakers, and the freakiest outfit so all can see. But he's got muscle, and looks like he's been in a tussle or two. So, Joe, my bets are on him. Phone clutched, finger tensed against the off switch. Press it 5 times, and they'll come for you. Get you safely home if the man trailing behind you gets close enough to drag you behind that bush where Kate was found. Pounded and bruised, and everyone had the gall to assume she was at fault. I halt in my tracks, the fork in the walk home. One path, though prettier and pleasant, may be fooling me. A tree sheltering hungry hands and flesh, ready to feast and imprint bruises, battering my skin like Kim's was. So I choose the other, my hands still tense and jagged blades ready for retrieval. I don't let my mate walk me home. The poor boy's ego will have to cope, because I don't even feel safe with him anymore. I stayed inside on Saturday, April 24th, even though it was sunny and pretty because my safety is my responsibility. And as we always drone on, boys will be boys, especially on Incarnated National Rape Day. And women will be coy, like toys. But keep yourself under control and they'll do their best, you festering black hearts, searching for skin and gin and burning my heart up tough. I want to fall in love. But I don't feel safe in the presence of these males. My frail attitude of defense that you coerced out of me. Because I don't want to know what your dick is dreaming of, but you'll let it loose anyway. Hey mama, don't you know I hate to walk home, but daddy won't give me the car. So I'm walking past those dark zones and cold souls, the boys behind me laughing like metamorphosing wolves. Hungry again. Aren't you my dastardly friends? Well, I better get running.
Hey, you okay? Someone said... Just please answer the phone, please.
Do you know me? Do you know me? How funny. Because for the longest time I felt that I barely know myself anymore. These fragmentations and altercations keep bending and twisting my soul until I feel so cold. The pieces left of me are like grains of sand, multitudinous in number, but so small. I can never hope to put them back together again. Fractured like a tiny china doll on the bow of a proud ship, tumbling into the great big blue, where I see you. You're trying to collect the scatters, nattering about self-love and compassion, but I just keep smashing against the rocks. I have known nothing of myself but endless walls of wild blue consuming me in the great big blue, where I see you. Floating like a ghostly jellyfish, wishing you could break that barrier and talk to me. Don't talk to me. I am not worthy of your kindness or your love, because without me, you wouldn't be swimming in the great big blue where I see you. Can I know me? Because everything I see is in ruins, drifting apart in self-division, self-destruction, self-petition for that gaping void to trade my place with yours, that you might not be that haunting silhouette playing in my mind's eye while I die inside. Do you know me? Because I barely know myself anymore. I am torn between guilt and that powerful void that should have taken me, but it took you instead. And I am eternally sorry for the mistake that it made in taking a creature so good as you and leaving the world cursed with my stupidity and my powerlessness and worthlessness and... I am tumbling in the great big blue, drowning in air, swimming in solitude. And I keep seeing you. I keep seeing you.
We're sorry, you have reached a number that has been disconnected. If you feel you have reached this recording in error...
I think there was a silence in my head that the world couldn't break, couldn't fake sympathy simply. Sorry, mate. As though that could make a difference. Do you remember little Maria, the girl with dark piles of hair and the sunshine stare who only cared for you? She sang at your funeral, though your body wasn't there. You're buried somewhere out there, in Alice or in the Kimberley, dark red soil hugging your skin. Maria sang the song that you and her had been writing before the military took you away. Mum didn't say she'd be singing, but I knew she'd be there, her ebony hair draped over her brow like clouds covering the sun. She's grown up wonderfully beautiful, married a wool farmer and moved up north on August 4th of last year. But I fear it was a match made of necessity and very little affection. You know those singing lessons her mother promised you? Well, she turns to me, all down and grey, and she says, "I'll teach you then." Dear brother, my voice is nothing like yours was, full of cream and streams of wine, tenor so fine even the burly blokes began to cry. My voice is flaky, fragile like a fire. Any decent buyer would look at me and snort. My voice is thin, with nothing left to win, 'cause I lost so much when they sent you away. I've got my degree, and unlike others I'm free from trauma, but as my conscience reminds me, I should have been there. I don't wish the paranoia of war upon myself, but they put me on the academic shelf and said I should stay here and get an education. Eternal damnation, they should have called it, regretting being left behind and yet feeling shame for staying the same. Maria didn't speak a word for a while. She wore blue and black for 3 weeks, and then back to creams and pinks. I think someone told her she wasn't allowed to grieve for a man she wasn't legally tied to. But her sunshine eyes looked so blue, blue like battleships, gloomy like storm clouds. And after one singing lesson, she whispered to me,
"I miss him."
And I shrugged because I want to move on, but something inside me knew she's different. Gave her a soft smile, and I hope you don't mind my speaking on your part when I mumbled, "I'm sure Jack misses you too."
Granules stick to the soles of my feet, shimmering in the sunset, headphones clamped tight over my ears, in an attempt to drown out fears, thoughts, whispers, for some time of peace. The sun smiles above the great big blue, refractions attracting the eye and then burning the retina, ever glowing but sinking beneath the horizon. I walk on. I smile. I can do things like that now, though it still stings when the thoughts of you return, yearning for time to keel in retreat. What a feat that would be. Be me. Peachy pinks streak the afternoon sky, flying sails of clouds crawling across the shoreline, late afternoon swimmers relishing in the cool embrace of the great big blue. My hand trails to the collar of my shirt, an old voice in my head crying out to dive, to brave the sea and believe in freedom again. I crouch down on the sand, my hands drawing hearts and then erasing them again. Friends. 2 friends walk past, engrossed in each other. My heart sinks a little. They're more than friends, a glistening stone on her finger. Aren't they winners? I mumble to myself, remembering the box your mum found hidden on your shelf. Part of me wants to flee such happiness and retreat into forgetfulness, erase it all from my mind, 'cause you would have been mine. But I find myself approaching this smiling couple. They cuddle, then see me coming. We talk, and I balk at what I'm going to say, but I need to say it. You're both so blessed to have each other. The future mother blushes at such a mushy statement, but both know I meant it. I could never wish what I lost upon another, deny future fathers the opportunity of becoming so. And the swell flows closer to where we're standing and reaches for my toes. I don't run from the great big blue. It's true the cold stings and the salty spray flings memories back at me, but I'm seeing you. And it's true that I'm crying and the flying skies have grown darker, and it's true the couple have left and the stars have come out. But I've found a sort of peace, wrapping the fleece around me, staring out to sea at the ghost of we.